Hey everybody. So I'm finally back. And this time I'm gonna make a video on basically a topic. It comes from a topic that was suggested by one of my YouTube subscribers, and I'm just gonna sum up a lot of things, and her specific question or her specific topic that she wanted me to talk on, she could find that answer within this video. So this is going to be called Disclaimers for the Revolutionary. And basically what I mean by that is like things that every revolutionary knows or comes to know over their journey of becoming more and more of themselves within the grand scheme of things. And for me, there are like really three main things that I can think of that is a general thing that revolutionaries need to come to. And if other people have other things, please add them, below. If you have any advice for people that's going through their journey, even myself, as far as things that we need to know going along, then, comment them down below. But my three main things is, number one, the possibility of going to jail. Number two, the possibility of losing loved ones. And three, the possibility of death. And so let's talk about jail. So bottom line is that even Martin Luther King went to jail. He went to jail many times, and he was nonviolent. So the bottom line is that we have this structure that is set up against us in society, and the structure doesn't want anyone to interrupt that structure. No matter how they do it, you can be nonviolent, you can be violent. It doesn't matter. You could speak out against them in a very negative way, or you could just speak your mind. It doesn't matter. And you got to understand that that's what they're going to do, or that's what they can do, or that's what they probably will do. And anybody who stands up and speaks their mind, they need to know that. And yeah, so as far as going to jail is concerned, people being afraid of going to jail, or the opportunity or the possibility of going to jail, by deciding to, fight for your rights. It's like, okay, well, duh, you're going to go to jail because they don't want you to have rights. And you just got to understand that that comes along with the territory. And honestly, if you're not going to jail, you probably ain't doing something right. Just saying. Like, you should be disrupting things. You should make them want you to go to jail. Like, I mean, you feel me? So, I can't think of any revolutionaries that haven't been to jail. You know what I mean? So, that's the first thing. And then the second thing, the idea of losing loved ones. I think that that's something that we all have to come to, too, for different reasons. Sometimes we lose loved ones just from disconnect. Like when you come into your revolutionary power or your revolutionary mindset, you just don't have the same people anymore. And that might include family, it might include friends, it might include anybody, and that might have to happen for the grand scheme of things, for the success of the Black Revolution or, Black liberation. I mean, are you going to hang on to the relationship, or are you going to let it go just so that Black people as a totality can move forward? You know what I mean? So that's something that we have to come in contact with, but also the loss of loved ones, like physically, and this comes through, they hold our family, our friends, our loved ones against us sometimes, and threaten us with them, and might even get through to us through them. And they use that as a way to make us suffer, because just to kill us puts us out of our misery too soon. And that's something that you have to be aware as a possibility, as well as your loved ones. They should know that. And also, going through this thing, you develop relationships, with other revolutionaries. And if y'all are doing revolutionary things together, or if they're doing revolutionary things and, y'all are connected, you got to understand that when you're a part of an organization that goes against the government or goes against the system that is in place right now, you lose people. Because that's what a war is. It's a matter of people fighting to the end, to the death, because that's what they have to do. And they feel like that's what they have to do. And yes, death comes along with that. So, that's another thing. I don't think that it's easy for anybody to lose anyone, like physically. But for me, one thing that's helped me is like the understanding of spirituality and just knowing that, honestly, if my revolutionary friends passed away, if I passed away, whatever, I still live forever. You didn't do anything. Because people would never forget me. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's that idea of always knowing that things, you'll always live. Which I'll talk about after I talk about this next point. Which is, you know, the possibility of you dying yourself. That is probably, for me, the biggest thing that I have to come to terms with. And every single day I'm coming more to terms with it. It's the idea of death. And I feel like when you conquer your fear of death, you literally conquer life. When you conquer your fear of no longer living, I just feel like you're not held back of doing anything that you want to do. You're not held back of seeing how far you can go and how far you can push the limits. And when we do that, when we actually become our greatest selves, good things always happen. And, but either way, so it's a scary thing to come to, but you got to understand that the greatest of us have all been killed by the uppers because of how much power we had. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I can keep going, and I'm not going to do that because you all know all the people who they done killed. So, and that is something that you have to prepare yourself for beforehand. And I think that that's something that we all understand too. It's just that there are things you're preparing yourself for so that when they happen, it's not a surprise. You know, what this whole thing is about is conquering fear. Really, all of it. When you conquer the fear of death, you conquer life because you can completely live through your fullest potential, period, point blank. And when you conquer fear, that is when you're your greatest self, like literally. And because there's nothing to hold you back, you know? Because you never learned that you were unstoppable. So what would you be afraid of? You know? So that goes into the idea of like Huey P. Newton, and he believes in like, you know, he talks about the idea of revolutionary suicide and how basically what revolutionaries do is that, you know, people look at us like we're crazy, and it's like, oh my gosh, you put yourself out there like, oh my gosh, are you crazy? Do you want to die? And the way he talks about it is like, you know, actually I want vice versa. I fight for what I fight for because I want to live. And this is the only way that I can see that I can live. So if it's a matter of me dying in the process of me fighting for my liberation and being free, then I'll accept that. Because if I just live in this world as it is today, I'm already dead. And even if I live here and then I confined by your rules, you're going to kill me anyway. So what he talks about is having, you know, his concept is revolutionary suicide. Instead of reactionary suicide, revolutionary suicide. But I believe that you got to pick one or the other. It's like you're going to be on one side or the other. You either going to be the reactionary suicide person, which if you choose not to be the revolutionary suicidal person, then you got to understand you're still going to die. And all you're doing now is putting yourself in a position to die by reaction instead of you having control and power over your life circumstance and being the one who controlled that. controlled your own destiny. And in that moment of your death, it was something that you had complete freedom, choice, liberation once you got to that moment. And that's how I want to feel. And that's how a lot of us want to feel. So as a matter of anything else, like being afraid of the government, being afraid of going to jail, being afraid of being dead, being afraid of our people dying, when you are spiritual, when you understand that your life's purpose is so much bigger than this body, than this flesh, that I'm a spirit that lives, that anybody who comes into contact with me, they can feel my energy and they can feel my spirit, and I'm a healer. When you realize that, you realize that your power does not stop just at the fact that you are no longer here on earth in the physical form, in this realm that we see, you know. You're so much more. You live forever. And that's the bottom line, is that we need to conquer the fear of death. We need to conquer all our fears. Conquer all your fears and you will be straight. If you conquer all your fears, then you will be doing what all these revolutionaries are doing. And I don't really believe that any of us are doing anything that other people couldn't be doing. We just all have come to our place of awareness, consciousness at different times, and we will still continue to do that. So yeah, those are my ideas on what you have to know to be a revolutionary, or what you have to know going into this kind of work, or what you have to know when you're thinking about it in general, or when you're thinking about your friends or your family or anybody who's involved in anything like this. It's, yes, bad things come from it, but honestly, you fighting for something in the process, and to me that's worth way more than letting them decide your destiny. You know what I mean? So we're living right now. People like me, we living. We making it happen. People who done been to jail for saying whatever they done said or doing whatever they done did for the freedom of black people, we all living. Shout out to them. We all living. It just shows how much we got the power. So that's all I got to say. I know I kind of drug on, but be like that sometimes. I'm not apologetic about it anymore. But yeah, if y'all got any more questions, if y'all got comments, if y'all got advice for other people that want to know more about this topic, or topics that are similar, then please comment. And then, subscribe if you want to do that. See y'all.